What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 151, and we start today's episode off with a squad report here as we've now entered March. And of course, in the last episode you saw a whole month's worth of fixtures, 6 games in total in that very special long episode of number 150 of Career Mode. So hopefully you enjoyed that video, and we now start off March with a squad report as you can see how the players are currently doing. So nice to see some of the players having healthy attribute changes since we've came in. We sort of restored a couple of players to the first team who weren't playing before we arrived. Obviously Lacazette being the main one. Coulombe's come in to start holding in the holding midfield position for us, and Cabea's growing too. Higuain, despite being in his 30s, is also growing as well. It's been a very nice start for us, you know. I mean, Higuain's growing the attributes, not the actual overall just yet, but yeah, it's been a very nice start for us, you know. I feel like we've done a good job here at PSG so far. Of course, only lost twice so far, to Montpellier in the league and also to Stade Rennais in the cup. And as you can see by the league table, 12 games to go, and after our victory in Le Classique in the last episode, we are ahead of Marseille for the first time, top of the table on goal difference. So yeah, 12 games to go. We're exactly where we want to be. Of course, the board have only given us one objective since arriving here, and that is win the league title. So despite beating Bayern Munich in the last game in the round of 16 Champions League knockout tie first leg, and having that 3-0 healthy advantage going into the second leg away in Germany, it's still not as important as the league. And that's the weird thing about it, you know. Coming into this team here at PSG, obviously we knew that we were probably going to go out of the group stages, so that's probably why the board didn't even bother giving us a European objective. But you know, since getting through, I thought maybe the board may have changed that. Maybe they would have sent us a European objective now we've actually qualified, but instead it's all about the league for them. And to be honest, I don't mind whatsoever, because I think now we do have the momentum ahead of Marseille. We should be favourites to go on to win this division, but of course we've still got to do it. And the first chance of the first game of today's episode would fall here in the 5th minute against Lille, as Hazard run forward here, but the shot was well saved by the goalkeeper and turned behind for a corner. So still 0-0, and from that corner Hazard crosses the ball in, picks out Laporta, and he gets his first goal for the club. So I signed this guy for £20 million at the end of the January transfer window from Athletic Bilbao. He had to sell on a player to be able to afford Laporta. That was in Tony Villena, the midfielder we weren't currently using, and Laporta's come in, and he's been a really good signing for us as well, because David Luiz has been taken out of the team. Now he's on the bench, and even though David Luiz is just as good as Laporta, in fact I think he might even be a rating better than Laporta. I've mentioned this a few times before, work rates in FIFA, they may be a bit of an underrated thing. Not many people pay too much attention to them, but they can be really important. And David Luiz, with his high attacking work rate, was always causing us some problems, being pushed up too far at the pitch naturally, whereas Laporta is a much better solid defender, and he gets his first goal for the club there from the corner, making it 1-0. But that goal was nothing compared to this one. In the 11th minute, Lacazette scores one of the goals of the series. What a goal this is by Lacazette, and if you didn't see it first time around, I wouldn't blame you because it happened so quickly. Look at this, a lovely rainbow flick over the defender, who does keep up the pace with him. He doesn't just fall to the ground, he keeps hold of Lacazette there, trying to block the shot as it comes in. But what a finish as well, right into the top corner. That is an absolutely wonderful goal by Lacazette. Yes, I know he's inside the area, and you know, sure, don't get me wrong, I know that Lacazette with 4-star skills, an 86 rated striker, you'd probably expect him to do things like that, but when you have a skill move going straight into a shot, it always looks really nice and so slick, and that was a very nice goal. So one of the best goals of the series for me, at least, and that does make it PSG 2, Lille 0. So 2 goals up in this game, and in half an hour mark here we're passing the ball around, and as the ball comes into Coulombe here, as you can see, he gets tackled and Lille win the ball back. But they gave the ball away so many times, Lille, and it was really weird, because I thought there'd be a very hard team to break down, but they just kept giving the ball away, and as we spread the ball forward ourselves, Lacazette scoop turns around his man and smashes the ball past the goalkeeper and makes it 3-0, who I think, to be honest, probably should have stopped that one. It was right at his feet, but it goes through his body really, and Lacazette gets his second goal of the game. Not as good as the second goal, but still a nice scoop turn regardless to beat Simon Kier, I think it was, is that how you pronounce that? But regardless, 3-0 to PSG, and yeah, you know, that was a great example there. You know, as soon as we gave the ball away, Lille had a really good chance for a counter, and they just kept on misplacing their passes in this game. And it was really weird too, because you see Coulombe win the ball back there from another stray pass from a Lille player. It's really weird, because when you play against the AI on Legendary, you know, one of the very few things you can say is usually flawless for them is their passing. They rarely ever give the ball away, regardless of what team you're facing. But in this game, their pass accuracy was actually quite poor. At least it appeared that way regardless. And we could have made it 4-0 there, as Lacazette was denied his hat-trick, and they again he's denied his hat-trick by another good save by the goalkeeper, and Ibra's header goes into the side netting. So still PSG 3, Lille 0 in this game, but to be honest, as you can see from the corner, it was all us, and as the corner comes in, it's towards Thiago Silva, and he heads the ball past the goalkeeper, and the man on the line there seems to get a whack in the face as it trickles over the line and into the back of the net. So he tried to stop the ball from going in, but in the end he looks like a bit of a fool as Thiago Silva does make it 4-0. He claims the goal despite the deflection, and it was going in regardless, so it is indeed his goal. So both centre-backs scoring this game, both Laporta and Thiago Silva, both getting their first goals of the season, and also a Lacazette double sees us win the game by 4-0. So a very convincing victory against Lille. You know, we thoroughly deserved to win. Lille didn't really create anything, and again, the main problem was their passing was really, really poor, and I extended that clip just to show you exactly what I meant. It was crazy just how, I guess it was just one of those really unexpected things, you know, in career mode. Do you know what I mean? The one thing I always expect when I go into a game against the AI on Legendary is accurate passing, and for it to be really hard for us to get the ball back off the opponent. In that game it was the complete opposite, but still following that, the ball came to us and basically just gave us a bit of a boost, a nice little email there just saying you're doing a good job, and you know, we want you to continue being a manager of the club, you're the right man to carry on the legacy, and so on and so forth. And you get it every single time you start to go into a really good run of form usually, and that is no exception there. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how long we will be staying with PSG for. I do want to say that in today's episode. Obviously, this is our first season here at PSG, and we've only been here for a couple of months really. So you know, of course, we will be ending the season here with PSG, regardless of what does happen. But you know, you may have noticed me putting Niang and Savanier only on 2-year deals. I'm not ultimately sure whether we are going to stay here for, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 seasons like we did with West Bromwich Albion. I'd predict that if we don't leave during next season, then we'll probably leave at the end of the season, because you know, as I did mention when we left the club, when it comes down to my career modes, we usually have little stints here and there before going on to another project, and this is probably just going to be one of them. But we don't know, we'll see how we're doing. To be honest, I'm really enjoying it here at Paris Saint-Germain, and I'm sure you guys are as well, at least I would hope so, touch wood. And yeah, you know, we'll have to wait and see, but regardless, you know, the main focus is what we're doing this year, and we've had a very good start to our career at PSG so far. But still, we take on Toulouse for the second and final game of today's episode here, and Coulomb, our holding midfielder, almost scores an absolute cracker from just outside the area, smashes the ball with his right foot, and it cannons off the roof of the bar and behind for a goal kick. So what a goal that would have been by our big stocky midfielder in a holding midfield position. And in the 8th minute here, Hazard's down the left hand side for us, cuts past his man, plays it inside towards Coulomb, and another great chance for him. And for the second time in 8.5 minutes, Coulomb hits the woodwork, this time the post, the first time the bar. So he must have been really frustrated there. 2 great chances and both times hitting the woodwork. Toulouse almost grabbed themselves a shot goal in the 12th minute there, the shot going just wide the post and behind for a goal kick. And as you'll see here in the 18th minute here, Lacazette wins the ball back, but it's cleared away. But again, as Toulouse give it away themselves, Niang intercepts, Lacazette shoots, and the goalkeeper makes the save. And eventually, as Hazard goes for it, Toulouse get the ball away. So still goalless in this game, but a lot of early chances, mainly for us. But that was it until the second half, and 2 minutes after the restart, Eden Hazard sprints down the left-hand side, and look how much room he's got to gallop here. And Hazard obliges with a really good show of pace, keeps on going, turns the last man, chips in across towards Kevin Savanier. It's cleared away, but Hazard wins it back with a slide tackle. It comes to Lacazette, and as the tackle is made by the Toulouse player, it drops to Kevin Savanier, and he gets his first goal for the club. So Savanier starting ahead of Remy Cabella. Apparently that's how you pronounce it. I've been reading the comments over the past few episodes. The French commentators in this game say Cabella, but I've seen a lot of people say it's actually Cabella. But regardless, Cabella is replaced for this game by Kevin Savanier, and Kevin Savanier does make it 1-0. So his first goal for the club since leaving West Bromwich Albion, and a really well took finish as well, but it was quite simple in the end. But in the 81st minute here, a lovely build-up sees Coulomb chip it forward towards Latan, but unfortunately the Swedish striker is denied by the goalkeeper there. So still PSG 1, Toulouse 0. But in this game, Toulouse, other than the one chance they had in the first half, didn't really do much. And in the end, as Coulomb plays Ibrahimovic through again for a second time, the goalkeeper makes another good save and eventually it's cleared away. Again, it was quite a routine game, to be honest. And as you can see, 2 minutes to go, it was still 1-0. And as Van der Wiel crosses the ball, and it takes a deflection, and Aubameyang wins the header in the centre and makes it PSG 2, Toulouse 0. So we go on to win the game by 2-0. And again, another routine victory for us. You know, I know I've talked about this division before as, you know, not being as competitive as some in Europe, I do know that, but regardless, there are some games where, you know, we will struggle to get points, but in these two games here against Lille and Toulouse, both at home, it was quite easy for us, quite routine, and I'm glad we got the job done and scored a couple of nice goals as well. So 2-0 the final score, glad to get the 3 points, glad to see Savanier score his first goal for the club as well, and 2 very good points as we stay, 6 very good points as we stay on top of Ligue 1. But as always guys, a big thank you for watching the video, I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the episode, please leave a like, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.